Everyone, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you are watching in from. Fairly flat day in the markets so far today. A lot of the bearishness or quote unquote FUD out there is being attributed to some news coming out of South Korea in regards to anonymous crypto exchanges and attaching real identities to individuals in South Korea. South Korea is obviously a place where a lot of the crypto buying volume and selling volume comes from. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is going on with South Korea, how that might affect anything in general, if it affects anything at all. Just a quick note, like I said last night on Crypto Happy Hour, apologies again for the lack of content in the past couple days. Been catching up from work after getting back from the Bitcoin conference in Miami, but expect a ton of content, almost Crypto Happy Hour almost every single night this week. So hopefully expect that. I also I'm setting up interviews with the CEO of Polyswarm tomorrow, Wednesday, so that the CEO of Polyswarm, Steve, will be on for Crypto Happy Hour at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, Wednesday, the 24th. And also, I am setting up an interview for the team over at AirSwap to join on the channel as well. So if you are interested in decentralized exchanges, AirSwap will hopefully be, I'm in the process of setting that up now. No time frame on that, but keep an eye out for that as well. So let's get into it. Popping over here to Cointelegraph, which you might like, maybe you don't like, is what it is. But some comments here about the market stirring a little bit on the news from South Korea and quote-unquote re-reports of the news from South Korea. And essentially what is happening is South Korea has put into place a ban on anonymous exchanges or a ban on crypto exchanges that do not have KYC, know your customer, know your client components. And this has been something that has been reported since December, early December and early January, but is now just kind of coming to light. And what's being required now is that South Korea is only allowing for quote unquote real name trading or people to trade that have actual identities tied to them. So myself, Crypto Bobby, my real name, whatever, I would have to be tied there. I couldn't have an anonymous account where I just have an email and a password associated with that. And Cointelegraph and some other people are attributing this to an overall bearish trend right now. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I do think that it is something that a lot of people look at this and say, oh my God, South Korea is banning cryptocurrency. They're banning cryptocurrency trading. Meanwhile, that's not necessarily the case at all. South Korea is imposing stricter KYC requirements on some of these exchanges because apparently different people were trying to maybe skirt around laws or taxes or whatever by using anonymous crypto trading accounts. So that is something that is in place now. Some people are attributing that to FUD and saying that is dropping the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been hovering a little bit above the $10,000 mark. If we pop over here to on-chain FX, we have Bitcoin hovering right now about $10,600. Kind of been playing between this $10,000 and $11,000 range for the past 48 hours or so, but it hasn't necessarily been either bullish or bearish. A lot of people, I think, are struggling right now. Even a lot of, I think, the more experienced TA chartists out there, and a lot of the people that have a significant amount of technical analysis expertise are looking at these charts and saying, like, what's going on? I really can't pinpoint one way it's going or another way. So people are trying and stretching to find reasons as to why something's going down, why something's going up. In a lot of respects, and I mentioned it the other night in Crypto Happy Hour too, but I don't always think that there is a specific reason for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market to dip. I don't always think there's a specific reason why it goes up. Sometimes it's just FOMO. Sometimes people take profits and it starts a cascading effect. There's not always one piece of news. There's not always one piece of information where you can point to and say, hey, this is exactly why the cryptocurrency markets are crushing it right now. This is exactly why the cryptocurrency markets are going down. I don't think there's a specific reason as to why that's happening. Sure, could some of the South Korea FUD have something to do with that? Yeah, it definitely can. And I think it's easy to confuse what's going on in South Korea right now for an outright crypto trading ban, but that's not necessarily the case. And I think it sounds, in a lot of respects, fairly similar to what's going on in the US with how Coinbase and Gemini and Kraken and those type of exchanges that allow the US dollar to move into crypto, how they treat exchanges. You can't go onto Coinbase and have no license verification or no passport verification or anything like that. You have to be assigned to a specific individual. Otherwise, that's not allowed. On the other end, there's the exchanges like Binance and Huobi and things like that, where I could pop into Binance, I could pop into Huobi, and I can do anything I want with just an email and a password associated with that. And there's nothing tied to my account whatsoever other than my email, password, and probably IP address as well. So certainly something to take into consideration here. As I'm looking at the markets right now, though, I'm definitely having a tough way, as I was alluding to before. I'm having a tough way figuring out kind of which direction we're really facing at this point in time. If anything, I'm leaning toward a little bit bearish in the short term. I do overall think that the crypto market in the year 2018 is going to have a very strong, very solid year. But in the short term, I think a lot of people have been taking profits. They've been moving some money off the table, expecting a little bit of a pullback. And I do think that it is fairly necessary as things go. So one interesting thing that I'm thinking about doing in these markets right now, as we are in the midst of a pretty significant size pullback, especially for a good number of these altcoins and even Bitcoin and Ethereum, is looking at the all-time highs of some of these cryptocurrencies and trying to identify the cryptocurrencies or the crypto assets that I think have a decent potential of getting back to their all-time highs sometime in the near future or farther out in the future. Now, this is something where I think that if you truly do believe that this cryptocurrency or this crypto asset can get back to what it was worth from an all-time high perspective, either US dollar wise, or you could also do this with Bitcoin, with the Bitcoin trading pairing for altcoins, then you can potentially be looking at something to lock in a specific percentage of profit. Now, what I will say, and there was a tweet last night that came out that I think is a really good preface to this, is that this is crypto_God, crypto bull on Twitter. Talked about a little quote here that a lot of people say, in quotes, "It doesn't matter. I will just hold everything. It will eventually be back up." And saying that does not apply to every coin out there. And I think that is absolutely true. When you're looking at people that say, hey, I bought whatever cryptocurrency, I'm just going to hold on to it. It's eventually going to go back up. For a lot of cryptocurrencies, that has been true, historically speaking, and in the past. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to be true. For most cryptocurrencies with really solid fundamentals, maybe something like Bitcoin or maybe something like Ethereum or some of the other cryptocurrencies out there, yeah, that is probably going to be the case. For other smaller cryptocurrencies, for them, some of these like super pumped, hyped up altcoins, that might never be the case again. And if you pop over here to something like, on-chain FX, where we have the all-time high, the percentage down from the all-time high, I love Dogecoin. Don't get me wrong, I love Dogecoin. Dogecoin got me into cryptocurrency. That was the first thing I ever mined. I mined it on my laptop. I fried my laptop. Love Dogecoin. However, Dogecoin spiked up like crazy in the early part, or in December and January, and now it's 65% off its all-time high. Do I think that Dogecoin might ever be worth a market cap of $2 billion again? I have no idea, but I kind of doubt it in some respects, unless the entire market just continues to go through a crazy, crazy bull run. But I would not personally bet, and I would not advocate for anybody holding on to Dogecoin simply because they think it's going to go back up to the all-time high. So when I'm talking about this and when I'm kind of using these examples, I definitely want to preface that with that. So I'm going to pop over here to this little spreadsheet I made with that preface that I do not believe every single cryptocurrency out there, nor do I think that there is a guarantee that just because something is off its all-time high, does that mean that it will eventually go back to that. But with that being said, I put together this little bit of a spreadsheet, and it's pretty simple. If you're listening on the podcast right now, I'd recommend just checking out the YouTube video if you want to see it. But basically, there's 4 columns. You have the cryptocurrency in the first column, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, everybody's favorite Tron, TRX to the moon, Monero, and Cardano. And I have the current price in the second column, the all-time high in the third column, and the return, the ROI, if you buy in today or at today's prices, and it happens to return to the all-time high. Just to give you an idea of pretty much how far we're down right now, as well as what happens if we return back to the all-time high. And I don't know what time frame this might be. A lot of crypto is down pretty substantially, as we can see when we pop over to on-chain FX. We have Bitcoin is down almost 50% from its all-time high set 37 days ago. It's down about 47%. Ethereum is down 32%. Ripple is down 65%, etc. However, this gives you a little bit of an understanding of what will happen if you were to acquire some of this cryptocurrency and it goes back to its all-time high. And it helps you to understand the level of ROI that might come in. And I think a lot of people like to, when they look at crypto, they say, I'm not in this for 8%. I'm not in this for whatever. I'm in this for 5, 10, 100x. And that's fantastic. That's great. But I think this shows to go a little bit of value shopping. And I'm certainly not advocating for any of these cryptocurrencies in specific at all. But I just wanted to show the level of which these cryptocurrencies are down from their all-time high and the return if they ever get back up to that level. So in Bitcoin's case, the all-time high, at least from On-Chain FX's perspective, was $20,089. Right now it's trading just under $10,700. If you were to buy into Bitcoin now, and if it returns to its all-time high, you're talking about an 88% ROI. That's pretty legit. That's not, especially for Bitcoin, that's nothing to sneeze at. If you throw in 10K, you're making another $8,800 or so. On Ethereum's perspective, Ethereum is down less from an all-time high. So if you were to put money into Ethereum right now to get back to the all-time high, you'd be talking about a 46% ROI on your investment if you were to buy in now and it were to pop up to that all-time high of $1,400. Now, for something like Ripple or Tron or Cardano, those have all taken pretty heavy hits. Ripple, Tron, and Cardano, especially Tron. Tron has just gotten murdered. It was at 30 cents all-time high. It's now down to 7. If Tron were to get, and I'm not saying it will, but if Tron were to get back to its all-time high after its crazy run in December and January, after its crazy pump, that would be a 328% ROI. Now, again, when I'm looking at these and when I'm looking at these numbers, I am not necessarily advocating or saying that any one of these cryptocurrencies will ever get back to its all-time high or it won't get back to its all-time high. I'm just saying it's an interesting exercise that you can do to put these numbers together so that you can figure out, hey, I am really confident in something like Monero, or I like Zcash, or I like Bitcoin Cash. I don't know. Whatever cryptocurrency you like, you can look at the percentage it's down. You can say, hey, I'm pretty confident that this cryptocurrency is not peaked. I'm pretty confident that this market is not peaked. So I am going to make a concerted bet on XYZ cryptocurrency because I think it hasn't seen its top yet. And again, when I look at this, there are some cryptocurrencies out there that very may well have topped out forever. There's a certain possibility of that. Maybe something like Dogecoin, maybe some of these other really hot altcoins that went from being worth $100 million to $10-15 billion in the course of a couple of weeks. Maybe they have seen their all-time top for now, for history, or for a year or two. It's definitely possible. Everything is within the realm of possibility, but I think running these type of ROI calculations is certainly interesting to see when you are buying at a significant pullback. Everybody says buy the dip. You're definitely buying on a dip right now. There's no question. Can it dip lower? It certainly can. So just a little bit of insight there for you, and I put this together just because I was doing a little bit of looking at a little bit of bargain shopping and seeing, as we continue to move down in some of these price ranges, what type of ROI might I get if I put in my money and we get back to the all-time high. So that was something I thought maybe would be helpful for a lot of you folks out there, and a pretty simple equation too, if you're looking for what the actual calculation is. As far as this goes, I mean, it's simply just with this last row, the ROI calculation there, it's just taking the all-time high it's basically taking the all-time high minus the current price and then dividing that by the current price to get the ROI of what you're looking for. Hopefully this was helpful for you as well. Like I said before, I'm putting out a ton of content. I'm actually heading to that meetup group that has helped me find a couple different cryptocurrencies, talking about some different ICOs that are happening and some different places this evening. So if I get any good insight from that, would love to pass that along. Would love to share that with you folks. If you are new to the channel by any chance, I would really, really enjoy if you hit the subscribe button if you found this helpful, and hit that little notify bell next to that. And if you have been around for a while, would love to see you hit that like button. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Crypto Bobby signing out. I hope you have a fantastic day, night, wherever you're watching in from. Good luck trading, buying, selling, holding. Crypto Bobby signing out. Peace.